Hello ladies and gents of YouTube, Rich from PC Games N, back once again with Mr. Ben Barrett.
Hello.
And today we're talking, as we do every couple of weeks, about the latest patch for League of Legends, taking shape right now on the PvE, patch number 7.12. So as always, I assume there's some balancing changes to the champions. I haven't actually read over it myself yet. Tell us about them.
There is, yeah, although they aren't particularly large this time for reasons that we'll come on to in just a moment. There's minor changes across a few different champions. Rumble's kind of getting the heaviest of them now. Looks like they're trying to move some of his power around a little bit. As of the time that we're making this video, there's it isn't strictly a nerf. There is a number that is going up in there, but there's a lot of numbers going down. And they've actually said, we feel like this is a bit too much of a nerf at the moment. We want to try and, I don't know, normalise it to add a little bit of power elsewhere. There was a big set of Singe changes that people may have seen if they were checking the post at the weekend or before. Those have been moved to probably the next patch, maybe the one after. He was getting a bit of a minor rework. Those were definitely the biggest changes in the patch until they took them away. Those are still in the article if you want to go and have a look at them, because we'll have to bring them back later, and I don't want to type it all out again. And then I would expect there's probably going to be a few more changes added to the PvE over the next week. It doesn't feel like a full set of changes yet, even though there are major changes coming to items.
Right, yeah, so minor stuff on champions, major stuff on items. Tell us about them.
So this is mostly, seems to be where the focus is of the patch. Lots of changes to support items, lots of okay, we've taken this, that away and added this. A lot of the time it seems to be changing like cooldown reduction or health regen into mana or mana regen. Some items that had a lot of that are getting that taken away. So it seems like there's a little bit of normalization going on there as well.
Right.
But the focus seems to be on basically putting more mana on more of these support items. Presumably because support characters need mana basically more than anyone else to keep their lane partners up and that sort of thing. There's also a total rework of an item called Zeke's Harbinger, which basically they're making it way, way cooler. It kind of creates this frost storm, but when you attack people that are in it, sets the storm on fire, obviously, which does more damage. And this is all like linked between two different champions. So the support buys the Zeke's Harbinger and links to an ADC champion. And then when the ADC champion attacks someone who is in this like frost storm, it does extra damage and that sort of thing. And then if you attack them as well, that's when it gets set on light. It's pretty cool, anyway. All
right, cool. And there's this whole two champions sort of theme that's reflected in the new skins. Is that right?
Yeah. So in fact, what they're doing with the new skins, and I mean, both of these champions, these are for Riven and Yasuo. They're unlikely to be in the same lane unless something very strange has happened during your draft.
Right.
But yeah, they're adding Dawnbringer Riven and Nightbringer Yasuo, and this is kind of this whole order versus chaos thing they're doing. The main reason that they've gone pretty all in on this for what is just a couple of skins. They're pretty expensive skins. They look really nice. Got all the mod cons, different voices and new animations and all the rest of it. But it seems like they're doing it because they've also added a load of other cosmetics that are going to be available through this mission system that we've talked about in the last couple of videos, I think.
Yeah.
Where they've made it a lot easier to earn stuff in game, and this is the first kind of major use of that. There isn't any splash art for these champions yet for the new skins. I would assume that's going to show up hopefully tomorrow. Maybe over the next week or so.
Well, let's hope so. I always look forward to that. And then finally, there's a brand new system in this patch. It's the Honor system. Yeah, so this has actually existed in the game before, and it was called Honor, but it was a very kind of simple, at the end of the game, you can forget, usually, to kind of say, oh, this guy played well, whatever. They've kind of changed that now, so it is still at the end of the game, but it's actually done in client. It gets its own screen. Basically, when the game ends, it doesn't just kick you out to the windowed thing that people use, the actual desktop client. It keeps you in the game for a little bit longer and says, do you want to rate one of your teammates and give them like an individual reward? Cool. There's 3 of those. There's a whole big video about this that Riot put out. It is now in testing on the PvE, but they're not planning on it launching live until 7.13, which should be in about a month down the line from now. It looks pretty interesting. They're going to tie like the shard system, which is their cosmetic stuff, which we had that big load of stuff with when we were trying to work out the Chinese loot box stuff. They're tying a bunch of that to it as well. It's not solely going to be using that because then it would, you getting like cosmetics would rely on playing with people who are willing to reward you with these different things, which is something that Blizzard have talked about because they have a system similar to this in Overwatch and Heroes of the Storm, where at the end of the game you can like go, oh, this guy played well, and you can kind of give them an MVP vote.
they don't tie anything to that because they're worried about toxicity and that sort of thing. It looks like Riot are a little less worried about that, but you can only judge your own teammates. It isn't forced, you can skip the vote. It'll be interesting to see exactly how, when the system goes live, that interacts with the way the community thinks about these things.
Yeah, that will be interesting to see. I mean, a lot of online games have got sort of upvoting systems, but not very many of them are pushed.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, hopefully that works out well. Okay, great. Thanks for that, and we'll see you next time. Do all the usual social media gubbins: like, share, subscribe, ring the bell,
follow.
Yeah.
Facebook's like as well.
Yeah.
You hit it.
Cool. Take care. Thanks for watching.